Dad? Oh, okay. You want to say hi? Huh? Shall I? Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Salawat. Bhaiyo, today we are going to introduce, we did it last time, body tapping. I did not explain very sort of comprehensively in detail the benefits of this tapping, the tapping all the 9 meridian points in our body. And I would like to read for you the benefits of this particular form of exercise for the body. It's just tapping. It says body tapping is a form of self-massage that uses pressure instead of needles to stimulate the body's meridian points. When these points are stimulated, it can help improve your overall health and well-being. All right? By stimulating your meridian points, these 9 points, a foundation of traditional Chinese medicine, body tapping can help improve energy levels, sleep, stress, and anxiety levels, and immunity. Body tapping can be used to help alleviate emotional pain, physical pain, balance energy flow, and restore balance to the energy system, and also to relieve stress. Now, what is body tapping? Body tapping, also known as meridian tapping, is a technique that can be used to improve your overall health and well-being. By stimulating your meridian points, you can boost your energy levels, get better sleep, reduce stress and anxiety, and strengthen your immune system. I've already said this. Okay. Let's see. Now, how to do this tapping therapy? To get started with the meridian tapping, find a comfortable place to sit or lie down on your eco-friendly yoga mat. Make sure you won't be interrupted for a few minutes. It's important that you are comfortable and can remain still during the tapping process. You will also need to identify the points. You need to identify what these points are that you want to tap on. Okay. You can use your fingers or body tapper to tap on these points. Once you have located the points that you want to tap on, you can begin the tapping process. Right. And then it tells you, these are improving your energy levels, get better sleep, reduce anxiety. And it says here, where is that? Here it is, yeah. Right. What are the most common meridian points for tapping? There are a number of different points that you can tap on, but some of the most common ones include the karate chop point, this. Remember they hit the block of when they use this karate chop, you see? And the eyebrow point. You see the eyebrow starts from here, so this is the point they're talking about. The side of the eye point. This is the side of the eye point, where the bone is, you see? This is located on the bone next to your eye. This point can be good for tapping when you are feeling overwhelmed or sad. And the first one, the eyebrow, located at the beginning of your eyebrows, this point can be good for tapping when you are feeling angry or frustrated. So the under the eye point, it is this. The under the eye point. This is located on the bone below your eye. This point can be good for tapping when you are feeling tired or sleepy. Then the under the nose point, here. All right. Obviously, this is located just below your nose. This point can be good for tapping when you are feeling anxious or stressed. The chin point, here. Located just below your bottom lip, tapping this point can assist when you are feeling angry or frustrated. The collarbone point, here. This is a collarbone point. This is located at the beginning of your collarbone. Tapping along this point can help when you are feeling anxious or stressed. The underarm point, this is 4 fingers after the arm. This is located on the inside of your underarm, about 10 centimeters below your armpit. This point can be good for when you are feeling tired or sleepy. These are just some of the most common points that you can tap on. There are many other points that you can explore. So these are 9 meridian points which are very, very useful, and I have already sort of spoken about the benefits of these points. And it doesn't take long, it just takes about 5 minutes only. So shall we start now? And you can count 10 or you can count 20. So just follow the way I do it. You start with this karate point with the right hand. Here, 1, 2, 3. Just tap firmly, but not very hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You say it's 10, but I go a bit fast, so 20 is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, the eyebrow here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Under the eye. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Under your nose here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Here. Under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Collarbone, a little bit under the collarbone, and then go a little bit this way. Use all the 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Under the armpit, 4 fingers here, go down below, and then start with the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Then here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I don't know why it doesn't state here, but this is a very important point as well. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Asana. So do this every day in the morning. These are all the various benefits that you get. Yes?
See, there are too many exercises to be done. Why can't we supply us with a photocopy of it? So
Yes, this one I can print this. I can send you a link. I'm going to send this link in the seniors column. Then have a look at it. It gives you all the details. You have got a seniors group here. That's the best thing. Everyone will have a look at, will see it.
I think best will be photocopy because we can hang it on the wall. And
No, let me see. What I have just seen is just an explanation of all the meridian points, whether they give all the various points and where they are. But it does explain, and it does explain each point, what the benefits of each point is. Like if somebody is angry or frustrated or cannot sleep better or has got anxiety, you see. But these are the main 9 meridian points which are recommended. You see, it's a self-massage, a Chinese method. It's just like acupuncture, but this is quite useful. In the morning, sit comfortably, sit very comfortably and do it. See that you are not interrupted, you see. And when you, after doing this, and then you have a deep sort of breathing. You'll see the benefits. You see, even if you have pain, you see, also it helps to alleviate the pain, you see. Have you got any time left? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Sure? Okay. Hi. Shall we do just 5 minutes exercise only? All right. Hi.
Sure, Amir Bhai wouldn't mind, Amir Bhai?
Hi. Okay. Shall we? One. If you could get it, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those who suffer from sciatica, it's a very good exercise. Go down this way, pole, then go pakachin kabisa, then go this way, that way, again, pakachin, again. I was shown this by an osteopath because I was suffering from sciatica, and then do this way. Hi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those people who suffer from, all of us mostly, myself included, it's just now this one is very it's very important, you see. Just do this, take help of the chair, but just for people who are suffering from balance problem, this is really a very good exercise. Just remain there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The higher you can sort of raise is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now, this is a bit difficult. You can try. If you are able to do it, do it. If you can't, then take the help of at least one hand. Just, all right, just look at me. Raise a little bit your one foot here. 1, 2. This is very good exercise for the balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now raise a little bit higher and try and pause just for a second or 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, people who are suffering from knee problem, the best thing is to exercise the muscles around the knee. Muscles around the knee. So when you are in the state of, you're sleeping, you see what you do. You raise your palm, your feet, not your palm, your feet this way and that way. This way. So this will, you'll exercise this and you'll exercise your heels as well. So the way to do it. Sorry? This is very good, yeah. You can do that. See, one heavy, heavy, heavy.
You can do it while
Yeah.
on the bed.
But the best one that I have found, see, which I was also taught by a physiotherapist, is, you see this? So what you do, you exercise this one. And then you bend a bit, then you exercise this. Do the same thing there. So the shin should be strong. See? And now you have to make sure that this part of your thighs is strong. So what you do? Okay. Can you see me?
Yeah.
You can feel the tension here. All right? And do the same thing here. Now once this part of your sort of body is strong, and this one, then you are very much safe from getting any problem with the knee. All right? But if you are still suffering from knee problem, then I would advise you to take something which is herbal. It's called glucosamine plus chondroitin. Now, it's called glucosamine and chondroitin. Now, chondroitin, unfortunately, is most of them, practically all of them, are produced from shark cartilage. They use shark cartilage in this one. The only one that I have found which only use plant-based medicine, seaweeds, is a company called True. I think it's True. I've just ordered it, you see, and it's quite safe. So people who are suffering this from knee problem, you take this glucosamine plus chondroitin. Sometimes they have MSM and zinc together. After 2-3 months, you'll find there is definitely an improvement in your knee. All right, awesome. Huh? Of this, all right, I'll do that, inshallah. Inshallah. Sorry? I'm going to do that, and I'll put the photo of that particular one that I'm not advertising, but somebody was able to say that. Okay, I'll do that, inshallah. Ahsantum. I'll do the link for the meridian points also, tapping, you see. Ahsan.
مشكور جزاك الله. اللهم صل على محمد. You look younger without coffee. That's why you look younger.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله ويغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
Hajj na bara. Oh. I think it was him. Yeah, it is Makbul.
Special meetings. Oh, high level. مرحبا مرحبا، تقدم يا شيخ.
انتظار المقبول.
لسه مكزا ونزل accepted. قال حبيبي خذ ختم الانبياء باواز بلند الصلوات. الفاتحة في البلاء وكزاي الحوائج.
ما شاء الله. Sure. Thanks. ومحمد وآل محمد صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه ونور عرشه أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين،
خاتم النبيين بالقاسم محمد اللهم صل على وإترته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب المجيد والفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين صلوات صل على Indeed, it's very happy to be among us seniors to have a discussion. Mustafa Bhai has now come back from his long trip, and it's very good to see him indeed. I have chosen this subject of Hajj, a unique spiritual quest. Now, I'm certain that most of the people whom I'm addressing have been to Hajj. And inshallah, if they haven't been to Hajj, may Allah give them the tawfiq and the ability to go for Hajj. For Hajj is indeed a very important experience. It's a hugely, immensely huge spiritual experience that cannot be explained. You cannot explain it in words, you can experience it. When you experience it, you know it. And there is something in the study of knowledge, in the science of knowledge, there is something called experiential knowledge. Experiential knowledge is when you experience something. And other types of knowledge is when you hear about it or when someone tries to explain to you. So when someone tries to explain to you what is pain, they will try to explain in the best way possible, but if you have never experienced pain, you won't know what is pain. When you experience pain, you won't need to be explained what is pain, because you know what is pain. So experiential knowledge is the one that gives you knowledge, right to your satisfaction, intellectual satisfaction, and you know it. The thing about Hajj is the last time when last time when I came and spoke, I spoke about rites and rituals. And I spoke about how rites and rituals create a very strong foundation for our faith. So we have rites and rituals which relate to what we do in the various amal, various salah, fasting, and similarly Hajj. And in many of these rites and rituals, we have to think about what is it that we are doing and to understand it. To understand it and to understand the significance. So for example, we have in Surah Al-An'am, it says, قُلْ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةِ وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. So say that my prayer, my rites of sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you go on to say that, La sharika lah, there is no partners for him, and I have been commanded, and I am the first one I'm among the first of the ones who have submitted to him. So, we have this huge, in all our rites and rituals, our central purpose is to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to actually develop a relationship, a spiritual relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you take worship-related rites, which is our salah, our amal, various things that we do which are related to worship, and then relate it to, say, fasting, and then take fasting, and then take Hajj. You'll see something here which is really amazing. There's something very amazing about the comparison between our normal worship rites, our fasting, and Hajj. If you look for common denominators in this, you're all seeking closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are seeking to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are seeking to achieve closeness. But there is one thing which is very important, and that is a very central element of restraint, self-restraint and self-development. So now, if you enter the state of salah, we will all know that we are no longer free agents the way we were before salah. We are not free agents anymore because we have entered into a state of salah. Now that state of salah requires us to do certain things and not to do many things that will break our salah. So for example, you'll see that you can't talk while you are in salah, you can't laugh loudly, you can't even cry too much, for your own personal grief. So many things that you can't do. You can't stop and do something else and then continue with your salah. So your salah is a state of being in which you have focused and you said, okay, I've started this, and the 4 or 5 minutes that I've got, I'm now going to devote my attention 100% to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm going to control my thoughts, I'm going to control everything, and I'm going to carry out the manasik of fasting, which is manasik of salah, which is actually arkan of salah, which is, for example, all the things, qiyam, ruku, sujood, etc., which I have to do. So your concentration for 4 or 5 minutes is on that and nothing else, and you can't do it. So you entered into a state of salah, and it is, it is for a moment, it's miraj. You have now entered into a state in which you are very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So similarly, if you take now that as a worship example in which we are in a state, and then you take fasting. Let's take fasting in the, when it's salah, you're talking 5 minutes maximum, in which you go into that state. Then you can come out of the state, you can recite your dua, you can do other things, you can get up, you can even do other things and come back to prayers at Fazila time. But the issue is you have left the state of salah, and that state of salah, that state of being, is a very sacred state. And that sacred state is one that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed for us for 5 times a day, so that we are able to leave all our distractions, to leave all our material activities, everything that we do, and then devote ourselves to salah, to remembering Allah, and remembering that He is our Creator and that He has given us everything. The life is here, He has given us. He'll take it away when we die. We'll go back to Allah. There's liqa Allah. We'll meet Allah. So the whole thought of what we believe about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how we came from Him, how we go back to Him, everything is kind of remembered in that salah. That salah is a reminder for us being able to understand what is my position vis-a-vis Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you then take fasting, and then in fasting we have a whole day in which we do not do some of the 9 things that break our fast. So again, we enter into a state of fasting. So when we start our fast in the morning, early morning, we will have entered into this fast, and we say, okay, I will refrain from doing all the 9 things. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. All the 9 things that will break my fast. I have entered into a state of sacredness. Now that state of sacredness, which is Saum, is remembering Allah, being close and following the commands of Allah in relation to my whole day. So here, whilst I am able to do other things, I'm able to do my work. I can go to work, I can go to university, I can study, I can read a book, I can do all these things, but I must not do the 9 things that will break my fast. So that is an extent of self-restraint that I have to exercise while I'm fasting if my fast is to be valid. So similarly, when you take the example of Hajj, you are entering into a state which is different from your normal state. And this is so very important for us that we have one of the clearest examples of the things that you have to be careful about is self-restraint. So for example, we would say that in Hajj, you can't quarrel. You can't do things which are fahsha, lewdness. You can't do those things. sexual things, etc. You can't, abuse each other and do any of these interactions which are abusive, for example, towards each other in the state of ihram. So there, we are entering to a state of ihram, which is where we are saying that we are abandoning our normal life. We are abandoning everything that we do normally. Now we are in a different state of ihram. 25 things will become haram for us to do, prohibited for us to do, and we are to be careful how we are to behave in the state of ihram until the time when I can come out of the state of ihram. And this is an extremely high intensity of self-restraint. Because now, in the state of ihram, you can't do so many things. And if you look at the list of things that you can't do in the state of ihram, it's totally amazing. You know, the kind of things that you take for granted that you see I will be able to do in my normal state. Here, I'm in a state I cannot do this. So, for example, Ayat al-Sistani. Ayat al-Sistani says, for example, hunting. You can't do hunting in the state of ihram. You can't kiss a woman. You can't touch a woman. You can't look at a woman and flirt with her. You can't do those the sexual activities that people do with themselves, is masturbation. You can't recite nikah. You can't wear perfume. You can't wear stitched clothes. You can't put surma in your eyes. You can't look at the mirror. You can't, for example, carry out fusuk, outrage. You can't quarrel. You can't kill insects, even an insect that is on you. You can't kill it. If you're an ant or a mosquito, you've got to be very careful how you make sure that it comes away from your skin. You can't beautify yourself. You can't apply oil. You can't remove hair from the body. You can't cover the head. And you can't dip one's body in water, dipping one's body in water. And therefore, you can't travel in shade as well, and bleeding one's body, cutting nail, extracting teeth, all of this, carrying arms. So now we find a high degree of self-restraint is what we enter into when we are in ihram. And this is so very important for us to realize that, look, why am I getting into this state? So when I was in my very young teenage times, and I was talking to an elder who was explaining to me, in Dar es Salaam, who was explaining to me the difficulties of going for Hajj, the extreme difficulties. Now you're talking about mid-1970s or early 1980s at that time. So I was just explaining to me, because he had been to Hajj and he wanted to explain to me what Hajj is like. So he was telling me the extreme difficulties everywhere, Arafat, Muzdalifah, Mina, everywhere. From time you enter Makkah, etc., all that. So I was asking him, why are we going for Hajj? Why take on all these difficulties? What's our problem, being whatever we are doing now? Why can't you just remain what we are doing? Why go for Hajj and take on all these obligations, all this takalif and everything? For what for? What is our rationale? What are we seeking to achieve? And it's a very rational or a logical question that, people don't like to going from comfort zone. They don't want to go into difficulty zones. So he was trying to explain to me something, that there is a pleasure, there is a beauty, there is something about Hajj that you should experience. You should experience this. Now that is when I was very young. So when I went for Hajj for the first time in 1985, when I took my wife and my mother, alhamdulillah, for Hajj. At that time, there was a situation where there were no arrangements, no kafila, no caravans, nothing whatsoever. I simply went to the travel agent here and I bought a ticket. And the travel agent told me that we have a group of people from London, you go with them, you will be in the same plane. You will arrive in Medina and from Medina, be with them. Okay, so that was the idea. And also we had a feeling, we were told that there's a comfort, there's assurance that Marhum Habib Walji will be there. So inshallah he'll be there every year. He'll be there, you will see him in Medina, he'll take care of you somehow, right? So no arrangement. Tawakkul ala Allah, we just went, sat on the plane, and then we actually found a very big group of people who are going for Hajj. We arrived in Jeddah, and then there was this entire terminal of Hujjaj where we had to spend some time and then get a ticket to go to Medina. So we were going to Medina now by plane, right? That's how you're going to start. In Medina, when we arrived, our group that was with us told us, what arrangements have you made for accommodation? For example, he asked me, what accommodation? I said, no, I don't know anything about accommodation. This is my first Hajj, Hajj al-Akbar. I just am assuming that we are going to be with you. He said, no, we have made our arrangements. You have to make some arrangements yourself. So now we separate in the arrival terminal of Medina airport. I said, Alhamdulillah, you go. I sat with a few people. There were some youngsters amongst them who had came from Canada and others, and some elderly people from UK, and some ladies and some gents. I said, we are a group now. This is our group. Now we are going to be together in this group, and we are going to find a way to do our Hajj. We have not been for Hajj. None of us have been to Hajj. So it is Hajj al-Akbar for all of us. We don't have an experience of what is Hajj like, but we are going to find some way to go for Hajj. And our last resort is Habib Bhai Walji Marhum will be there. So we will look for him there. So the first thing we do is start looking for accommodation. We take a taxi, couple of taxis from hotel to hotel, hotel to hotel. Do you have place for you on 2 rooms, etc.? We have about 10 people, 12 people, 6 ladies, 6 gents, etc. Until we found one. And we found one, and we were very happy because it was not very far from the Haram. Actually, it was quite comfortable at that time because Hajj in 1985 was a different kind of experience from what it is now. The Haram was, we could see it from the hotel. And we just, I was just sitting. Now we are sitting together. I went with my friend who was from Canada and sat on the walls of Jannatul Baqi. Now, I didn't know what is Jannatul Baqi there. Where is Jannatul Baqi? We heard about it. We know where it is. And I was just telling him that I feel this evening, it's night time, we are sitting here, there are some soldiers, there are some camps, there are all kinds of people here. We don't see, everyone is just like, it's a battlefield, looks like a battlefield. And it feels very sad. It feels very sad to be here on the walls surrounding Jannatul Baqi. You get a sense of great huzna, this Baytul huzna kind of thing that you feel the sadness. And then, alhamdulillah, Allah provided for us. So what happened? Someone from Dubai came, coming to each and every hotel looking for people from London. And he came up in my room, and he happened to be my very good friend from Dar es Salaam, from Zanzibar. Very good friend. And he says to me, how are you going to do your Hajj? Have you got any arrangement? I said, we have got this hotel with great difficulty. We just managed to settle down in this hotel. And now we don't know how we are going to get how we're going to travel, without shed, how we are going to go to, Masjid al-Shajara, how we are going to do all that. We just have no idea whatsoever. And he says, look, there is a group from Dubai that was coming 100 people, and they are missing, they have not been allowed to come. So now they're looking for people. They're looking for people to come, to join them. And this group has got a cook, a doctor, the people have got all the arrangements, a guide, a Hajj guide. according to Ayatollah Sistani, the whole lot. Accommodation in Medina, accommodation in Sheikh Abi Talib, in Mecca, everything. Accommodation in Arafat and in Mina, throughout, everything. You want to join them? I said, of course, this seems like a godsend. Alhamdulillah, out of nowhere comes help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you've got all these ladies and gents who are together in our group, who are really, we don't know anything. So then, alhamdulillah, I went and saw Abbas Sajwani. His name was Abbas Sajwani. He's a very nice person from Kuwait. And, he said, okay, we've got a house for you ready. But if you want to come. I said, look, we are quite comfortable just now across from Haram, very nearby, so we will stay there. Besides, they didn't have water at that time. So I said, you don't have water in your building, so I think we stay in our hotel. But he took care of us throughout. Not only that, there was another group from UK, this time from Peterborough, that Habib Bhai told us, don't have any group to go to. So we told Abbas Sajwani, we have got about 60, 70 people from Peterborough who have no group. Can we accommodate? They say, yeah, we can. No problem. Let them come. So we had a huge group that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided for us in Medina itself. And can you imagine the mercy of Allah, the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Here people go without any idea to how to do Hajj. And now you have a situation where we have everything arranged. Everything is arranged. Now we have got all the way till the end of our Hajj. Alhamdulillah. So you see, Alhamdulillah. So now the problem that was there at that time, Bismillah, Bismillah. It's comfortable, okay. Yeah, so in 85 there was nothing. And our people didn't know how to do Hajj. I mean, now we've got Hajj seminars, we've got Hajj, training, etc. Can you imagine people going for Hajj just like that and, trying to finish all the manasik of Hajj? And there are so many manasik of Hajj to be done for a valid Hajj, So you can see that now, of course, we are in a very comfortable. Then I had another example of going with Marhum Al-Hajj Ahmad Bhai Dungarsi. And we had a very nice VIP accommodation in Arafat. We had a very nice accommodation in Medina. We had a very nice accommodation in Mecca. So throughout, everything was so much easier. But one thing that I felt when I was in Arafat, and I was actually in the tent in Arafat, and when we arrived there the night before, we go on the 8th of Zil Hijjah, we were Ihram in Mecca, and you go there, and we stayed the night, and then on the 9th of Zil Hijjah is the actual thing that we actually do, and then 10th Zil Hijjah we are in Mina. So we didn't even have a tent. The tent was taken over by someone else. So Haji Abbas Sajwani says, we sleep under the sky. But the amount of satisfaction, the amount of inner spiritual satisfaction that one had in all these difficulties was immense. Because you knew that now we are doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are doing this for the sake of achieving a very high purpose in our lives. Salawat. So one of the other things that we should bear in mind when you go for Hajj is we go through a process of detachment and attachment. Detachment from everything that we have. So when you wear, for example, our 2 pieces of ihram, we are detaching ourselves from all signs of status, all signs of wealth, power, position. We are now ordinary people. We are just like everyone else. And it is even referred to or compared to a state of death. So now, just like when someone dies, we put kafan on the person, here we have a situation where someone has now made himself totally taslim, surrendered to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the state of ihram, and now you are telling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I'm there and I'm only there for you. My focus is only you. I am now detaching myself with my love of family, my love of wealth, my love of my position, all the distractions, all life, everything. I am just thinking of you. And I want to come close to you and nothing else. So this detachment from, everything, and then attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other thing that we find in Hajj is that there's a lot of movement. It is not like Salah. In Salah, the movement is when you are in one position, in a ruku, in sajda, in qiyam, but you are not moving. You're not walking forward. You're not leaving your position. In Hajj, you have to move. And there are so many movements. So from the time when you arrive to, when you wear your ihram, the first thing you want to do is tawaf. Because you are now going for Umrah Tamattu. Now, Umrah Tamattu, which is the initial part of Hajj, requires you to go to do tawaf. The tawaf is the first thing that you must do. And then you have salat of tawaf. Then you do sa'i, right? And then after doing sa'i, you do taqsir. So now you are out of ihram. So this was the simplest way. Umrah Tamattu that our mazhab provides for is a beautiful thing because we are going there, you're doing the introductory bit about Hajj, but we come out of ihram, now we can wear our normal clothes until the 8th of Zil Hijjah when you'll wear ihram again. So it is that beautiful interval of time. In this time, you can do as many tawafs as you want. You can recite Quran. You can gaze at Khane Kaaba. You can look and you can just do zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can spend all your nights in Baytul Haram, just remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a beautiful feeling. And for those people, when we go for Hajj, and the first thing that I experienced, but of course now we tell people who are going for Hajj, is the first thing that you keep in your mind and bear in your mind is when you are going towards Baytul Haram and you have the first sight of Khane Kaaba, that is a sight that you gaze at it. Stop. Don't go forward anymore. From the point that you can see Khane Kaaba, beautiful, just imbibe it. Close your eyes and open your eyes again. Listen, speak with you, look at with your eyes of your heart, of your spirits, and get this atmosphere of Khane Kaaba, the picture of Khane Kaaba, the Baytul Haram. That should be entrenched in your hearts and in your soul from that moment onwards, because you will never forget. Anyone who looks at Khane Kaaba for the first time will never forget how Khane Kaaba is at that moment. Throughout his life, he will never forget it. That is an imprint. It's like a scan that goes in your heart. It's like a scan that goes in your soul. In your mind, it is a scan that is, in your ruh. And can you imagine? Baytul Haram, the significance of Khane Kaaba. When we are in prayers, where are we facing? We are facing Qibla. Our Qibla is Khane Kaaba. In every respect, our Qibla is so important. Khane Kaaba is so important in our lives. When we die, we have to point in a certain direction. We are very cognizant of Khane Kaaba. When we put the body in the grave, we are very cognizant of Khane Kaaba. It should point in a certain direction. So now, that is the central and focal point of our life. But then we think of the significance of Khana Kaaba itself, which is what? We have a hadith of our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, Salli ala Muhammad. He's asking our Imam, why does Khana Kaaba have four corners? Why does Khana Kaaba have four corners? So our fourth Imam is answering, because four corners of Khana Kaaba. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, because Baytul Ma'mur has four corners. What is Baytul Ma'mur? Baytul Ma'mur is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the heavens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made for the angels to go around and to do tawaf. And one other hadith that is there that tells us that when the angels were told that by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, look, I am going to create a Khalifa on earth. And the Malaikas in the first instance said, are you going to make a Khalifa of a human being who is going to do fitna, fasad, and killing and etc. and all the problems on the earth? Then Allah says, what I know, you don't know. You don't know what I know. But the hadith goes on to say, and this is explanation for our circumambulation of tawaf. The hadith goes on to say that this, and this is our fourth Imam's hadith, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was told by the Malaikas, and he had, that why are you making a human being, Adam, a Khalifa on earth? And he replies, no, I know what I know you don't know. And then what Allah did was he hid his nur from the Malaikas. The nur that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the effluence, the illumination that the Malaikas were very, very used to in being in the proximity was hidden from them. At that time, the Malaikas started doing istighfar and started getting very close to the arsh and doing istighfar. That was the time when Allah subhanahu, and they did for a very long time indeed. So that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then created Baytul Ma'mur for the tawaf of the angels. And Baytul Ma'mur is just above Baytul Haram. And Baytul Ma'mur is just underneath, perpendicular to the arsh. So you can see, when we are doing tawaf, it is like the arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. We are doing tawaf of Khana Kaaba, the angels are doing tawaf of Baytul Ma'mur, and the arsh is above them. The arsh of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sign of the total supreme authority and sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is right above that. So we are actually in a very, very sacred space. This is a sacred space that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has designated for us in order to be close to Him, in order to come close to Him, in order to be reminded of our destiny, in order to be reminded of our life, or in order to be reminded what we should be achieving in our lives, what we want to achieve, understanding ourselves, where are we heading, where we should be heading. And this is the significance of the Khana Kaaba that we should have always in our mind. And Hajj is the one that tells us that, look, you want to remember your destiny, liqa Allah, which you are all going to have. Liqa Allah is meeting with Allah. That we have when we die. We are all going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we die. But if you want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you are still alive, go for Hajj. Go for Hajj and experience Khana Kaaba, experience Arafat, experience Muzdalifah, experience Mina, experience all that. And remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we will be, how we will be. And that is the sum total of our Hajj experience. And it's supposed to make us people who remember Allah a lot. It is supposed to make us people who will be mindful of our obligations to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obligations to each other. One last point I want to make is in Hajj, we are required to be very careful of our interaction, the way in which we behave towards each other. So when we are in a community, when we are together, you always interact. There always some interaction. You're talking to people, you're having some interaction in some form or the other. But the interaction has to be very, very much in accordance with haqqun nas, with the rights of each other. And Hajj tells us that you should become emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence meaning you always be careful about how the other person thinks, how the other person behaves, what is the effect of your behavior towards someone else, how would it be when someone else behaves like that towards you, how are you supposed to conduct your life interaction both at home with your family members and also in the community with each other, being kind, being courteous, being cognizant that we are all brothers in faith, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us brothers in faith because of our faith. We are now got a special relationship, which is not blood relationship, but it is the one in which our faith is giving us relationship. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we love Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and we are closely bonded together because of our relationship in faith. And this is so important. So when in Hajj, you get an emotional reaction, someone does something, immediately you are supposed to restrain yourself. This restraint is so very important because this is one of the things that you are supposed to do, one of the prohibitions that is very important in Ihram, especially in Ihram. Of course, the idea is that if you do this in Ihram, you will continue to do this even when you are outside Ihram, out of Ihram, and you will do it when you are both in Arafat, in Muzdalifah, and in Mina, and in all the places of Hajj. And you will also continue doing that when you come back from Hajj, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven your sins, we have become purified, and now we are back to our state, our homes, etc. So we are supposed to continue. But remember, liqa Allah is awaiting us still, which is our death. So we are going to meet Allah. So when you go for Hajj, we get an introduction to how to be close to Allah, how to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the last one I really want to make is that I know that Hajj is now not as easy as it used to be before. We just went, you don't go to a travel agent and get a ticket and a group is formed. No. There are all kinds of procedures. But alhamdulillah, you will see that year by year, the procedures are getting somehow easier. So I'm told that this time round, although you still have to make your application yourself and pay the money to the Nusuk platform yourself, it is still possible to have a group, a number of people as companions, each of them paying by themselves. And the previous prohibition that, if someone has been for Hajj for 5 years, cannot go for Hajj again, that has now been lifted. So that is not a problem. So it is still possible for us to create a group with even a guide as well, because the guide can come. But he has still to apply himself, and he has to pay and etc. go through the procedure. The only problem at the moment is that they have now put a total quota of around, I think it's 3,500 per UK, whether Ahl Sunnah or Ahl Shia. That is the total quota. So now it comes like first come, first serve. So now you can make the application, and whether you will get the reservations and after which you will pay will depend very much in whether you are within the quota or whether outside the quota. So there is still some difficulty. It is not as easy, but we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Hajj is such an important thing for us that those of us who have been, we should go more and more. And those of us that have not gone should in fact be able to go. And that in this very difficult times when Hajj has become 10,000 pounds, when it used to be, when I went for Hajj, it was 2,000 pounds. When I went for second time with Kuwait, it was 4,000 pounds. It has become 10,000 pounds. So you can imagine it is now kind of being priced out of the range of many people. And it's difficult. So of course, one of the things that the community should think about is how to make sure that those people who haven't been for Hajj are helped to go for Hajj in this situation. So, you know, this is an issue that we have discussed earlier in other forums. For example, that look, if you have been to Hajj several times, can you not help someone else to go for Hajj? As a community, like a group, just look, we should have a group, that a community that we can say all of our community have gone for Hajj. We should be able to say that we have been able to send people for Hajj. So it's a bit like in Iran, you know, we get this lottery system that people are sent for Hajj on that basis, that those who haven't been for Hajj will get a lottery and will go for Hajj. There are many ways in which you should be thinking about how to help those people who haven't been for Hajj to experience Hajj. Because A, it's difficult, more expensive, very expensive. How do we make that possible for them? So I think we as a community also need to think that apart from the spiritual advantages and the beautiful advantages of going for Hajj, how to make sure that all our community members who are able to go for Hajj physically are financially helped to go for Hajj. With that, وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Salawat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And Surah Al-Mubarakatul Fatiha for all our marhumin, and especially Ahmad Bhai marhum, who was key and instrumental in helping many, many people to go for Hajj. Surah Al-Mubarakatul Fatiha.
Thank you very much indeed. Mwalim here has been very good to us. Whenever I requested him to come and speak to us, he's always been ready. We're very thankful to him. Thank you so much indeed. Yeah, if it is, because we're running a bit of, yeah, stand by.
Announce these two cars, please. This is the driver on the drive.
We have an announcement for cars that are parked badly. There's one car which is in Rugby, drive RV67YPD, which is a blue color car. And we have another car as well. So because now people are going to come for Mayat as well. So yeah, and then there is another car which is parked. Where is this car parked?
This is inside the Rugby.
Inside the Rugby. It's LM07RTO. It's on the tarmac.
It's on the tarmac.
Yeah. So if you have these cars, please remove that to help others. Thank you.
Thank you.
You had a question? Alaikum salam.
You've given us a beautiful picture about Hajj. Now, there is things like the accommodation, you say, and the food and all the supplies that to make your life comfortable. But I don't know you have any clue the days when people used to land in Jeddah and go over by bus to Jaffa, come back to Makkah so tired, sleep under the sky. The first shopping they have to do is look for accommodation. And in one room there can be 15 to 20 people with one washroom and one toilet. And buy your food and cook your own meal. And then those times you only had Mutwalli, Ganam and Abdullah Sara. And when you go for your Qurbani, you have to choose your own goat and do it there and step over the ones who are already in the
And hold the Qurbani as well. Yeah.
And then just
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know whether the days when you go to Jaffa, because I didn't go through that. But I know one thing, that when we went for 1985 Hajj, you know, on really just on trust, we found that in Arafat there were no toilets. They had to put some porta cabins. There was no water in Arafat. There were no tents. Tents had to be built, and tents were taken. We didn't have partitioning of Arafat area. The moment you come out of your tent, you go into the hujum. It's everywhere, and you can get lost. So we had a situation where Arafat was really like tents, without any compartments, without any regulation whatsoever. So it was quite difficult.
Excuse me, brother. Excuse me. Can we listen to the, please? Yeah?
So I think, yeah, but I'm sure that it must have been difficult from Jaffa.
I'm talking of year 1974,
MashaAllah,
earlier than
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
I remember sharing a room, 6 of us, and I think in this group, Murtaza was there as well, 1986.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. No, at the moment, the thing is this, that the arrangement is this, that look, everyone who wants to go for Hajj has to make a personal application through a platform, Nusuk platform, right? But, you know, in the past, there was no guarantee that you could take as many number of people. You know, like now, for example, now you can say, I can say, okay, we want 20 people. So all of you apply on Nusuk and try to get a reservation. And we will and get a visa reservation. And we will all, you know, will then be one group. So now there, when you get there as a group, you get all the visas. Now the issue there is our guide, our Hajj guide is allocated to us in a group. So now the only issue left is if he is not aware of Shia, ahkam of Hajj, we need to have someone within our group who has been for, and is aware of these things. And, otherwise, as Sheikh Hilli mentioned in his khutbah, you may have to at least make sure that we have telephone contact with a person. So there are many issues that can arise. So for example, in my case, there was one case of someone who went from Mina, having spent half the night in Mina on 10th Zil-Hijjah, went back to Makkah to finish his, you are supposed, Mabit is spend half the night. You don't have to spend the whole night. So he went back to Makkah to do his, this tawaf of Hajj, finishing it and then sa'i and all that. And he was helping others as well. As a result, he could not be in time for Jamarat before the time. Before sunset, he could not be. Before, you have to do Jamarat next day, all the three. So then we had some 3 or 4 ulamas there. And he said, okay, what you now do is you have missed it, but this is Arkan of Hajj. You have to do Jamarat the next day, right? 10th of Zil-Hijjah. So now what do we do? So, okay, do it at night. Like ladies are allowed to do Jamarat at night. So do it at night and do in the morning next day. Do it at night, so do your one that you missed tonight and do again. And similarly, so it was like, now how would you know? How would you know that what is the right way of rectifying your Hajj? We had many situations where people who have just joined, who have just come Muslims, they did not realize that one of the conditions of doing tawaf is to be circumcised. They didn't know. So now your tawaf is not acceptable if you're not circumcised. What do? So in that situation, you do tawaf yourself, the person, at the same time appoint a naib to do tawaf for you. You do both. Now you can't do circumcision there, because that is the time when you are already in the state of ihram now, so you can't come out of ihram. So you see, there are all kinds of issues that arise. So it's so important to have access to a alim, who is according to Ayatollah Sistani, who is our marja, and to be able. And in any case, we should have an experienced person. So for example, if you can have a resident alim, if you can have people who have been to Hajj before, Sheikh Abbas Jafar has been, Sheikh Mustafa Jafar has been, so many people in our community have been for Hajj, they can go and they can provide this kind of service, inshallah. But otherwise, there will be problems.
At the moment, you have to pay 10,000, go on nusuk, and then create a group there.
You can say, okay, I am together with 10 people and give the names of the 10 people. Now, those 10 people, you can delete them as well later on. But then they will have to apply themselves. So the whole...
And then they say, I'm with this
Yeah,
people.
that's right.
Other 10 people.
Yeah.
All the 10 people are in 10
Yeah, in one group. So now then we know, we can be reassured, we can be in accommodation together, in a group together, with a tour guide, with a Hajj guide together, and with our own guide.
And they will allocate the hotel.
Of course, they are the ones who allocate the hotel. So we then have another struggle to make sure that we get rooms, etc., this and that. That has been waived. That's been waived. Now they can travel. A single woman doesn't need a mahram. No. So there are improvements, and they are also, but it's very expensive. Alhamdulillah. May Allah grant us the resources to be able to go and do Hajj.
Thank you so much indeed. Asante. I've got a couple more announcements. I'll go on the mic so that everybody can hear. May I please request you all to say Fatiha for Marhum Munawwar Yusuf Ali Karmali. Please Fatiha. And all of them remain Fatiha. On the 6th of June, we all been invited for the Bibi Fatima celebration in Birmingham on the 6th of June. So we want to arrange transport. I need to have whoever wants to go, which is a Tuesday, by the way. 6th is a Tuesday. Those people who want to come on a coach with us, please can you give us our names so that we know exactly how many people are coming on the coach. Plus we need to let Birmingham seniors know for catering purposes as well. So please, let's have the names before next week. When we come back here next week, Wednesday, please let's have all your names, whoever wants to come.
Ladies and gents?
G?
Ladies and gents?
Ladies and gents, yes. Ladies have already started. Ladies are very quick compared to us. They've already started putting the names down and paying them out.
How much is it?
£10. It's subsidized. If it is more, then we will pay it from our funds. Yeah. So please, let's have the names. Azad Dala will take names there as well. Oh, Azad says no. Well, let me have the names. Yeah, please. Let me have the names, and then we will. Because by next week we need to know about the number of people are coming. So please let us all know. Yeah.
What time you start open?
Okay. They have asked us to be there at 10 o'clock, but I've tentatively said no, that's too early for us, because it'll take us about 2 hours to go to Birmingham. So we will try and leave here. We'll meet here at 8:30 in the morning and leave at 9 o'clock to be there for 11 a.m. See? Oh, I thought somebody was asking. So we'll start here at 9 o'clock. That'll be £10. And
Transport and food.
food, yeah, food.
Just as an influence, because I come on M1 every time.
You can go directly, yeah.
Direct, like in what I'm saying, for you to go by coach at 9 o'clock to reach the 11 o'clock, it's maybe difficult, but traffic is horrendous at the moment.
Okay.
M1.
You're not, yeah.
Out of London.
Well, because I come both ways. Maybe you'll be okay, but don't take it for granted. Traffic is horrendous.
I think I wanted to start a bit earlier, but I was told you wouldn't get anybody coming at that time of the morning to leave at 8 o'clock.
Allah will be with you.
But inshallah, we'll try and our best, yeah?
Back at what, 6 o'clock?
Jay?
Coming back?
Coming back as soon as it finished. I think maybe it will be finished about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Yeah, and then we start a journey back.
By 5 you'll be back.
Yeah, we start a journey back, yeah? Okay, now I'll ask Amir Bhai to come and, yeah, Amir Bhai to come and recite the Surah Yasin for us.
And then 7th you're meeting again.
Yeah, we have Wednesday's normal. We will have a normal. Actually, we're having guests from Paris on the 7th. Some of our people from Paris are coming to join us, ladies and gents. So inshallah, we will all welcome them as well.
So we are going to have biryani then.
No. Dal curry, biryani.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشر بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم وإن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني زل في زلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومي من بعد من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض ميتة أحييناها وأخرجناها منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم فلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كل مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مسلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر إلى ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم انفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أن نطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يقسمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا فلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لتمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مزيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لا مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحيي الذي أنشاها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منهم توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بل هو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين فاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم
Today we are going to have a Marcia because it's Wafat of Hamza Sadiq, so we have a Marcia for about 5 minutes, yeah? Please.
सलवात काजिम उठा रहे हैं जाफर का जनाजा کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، ہائے حسین کہہ کر آنسو بہا رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، تابوت کو اٹھا کر جتنے قدم بڑھائے، تابوت کو اٹھا کر جتنے قدم بڑھائے، ہر ایک قدم پہ ان کو سجاد یاد آئے، عابد کی بے بسی کا نوحہ سنا رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، منصور نے غذا میں زہر جفا دیا تھا، منصور نے غذا میں زہر جفا دیا تھا، مظلوم کے بدن پر، مظلوم کے بدن پر جس کا اثر ہوا تھا، افلاک سے ملائک پرسے کو آ رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، نکلا دہن سے باہر ہائے جگر کٹ کر، نکلا دہن سے باہر ہائے جگر جو کٹ کر، خون رنگ ہو گیا تھا مولا کا میرے بستر، منظر اہل دل کو، منظر اہل دل کو دکھرا، اللہم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم، منظر اہل دل کو دکھا رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، حیدر سے دشمنی یہ اب تک نہیں رکی ہے، حیدر سے دشمنی یہ اب تک نہیں رکی ہے، مولا حسن سے لے کر جعفر تک آ گئی ہے، ہر ایک چراغ زہرا، ہر ایک چراغ زہرا ظالم بجھا رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، اولاد سیدہ میں ایسا ہے یہ جنازہ، اولاد سیدہ میں ایسا ہے یہ جنازہ، جس میں مدینے والے دینے کو آئے پرسا، اہل مدینہ سارے غم منا رہے ہیں، کاظم اٹھا رہے ہیں جعفر کا جنازہ، صلوات، الفاتحہ۔
This morning, the breakfast was sponsored by the following family of the following marhumin: Marhum Akbar Suleiman Kaaba, Marhuma Nargis Bai Kaaba, Marhum Muhammad Ali Kaaba, Marhumin of Kaaba family, Marhum Ghulam Abbas Kanani, Marhum Amina Bai Kanani, Marhum Mohsin Kanani, Marhum Zainab Bai Sundarji, Marhumin of Kanani and Nur Muhammad Sundarji family, Marhum Ghulam Abbas Ramzan Ali Hansraj, Marhum Ramzan Ali Hansraj, Marhum Sharban Ubai Hansraj, and all the marhumin. Al-Fatiha. The namaz time today is 1:04, so we break for wuzu break and be ready for namaz at 1:04. Shukran. Oh, yeah, sorry.